We welcome you in to the Small Ball Podcast alongside Christian Dennis, Trevor Macon. I'm Scott Ayers. Producer Andy's back. We're all back. We're recording on a different day. We normally record on Mondays. Today we're recording on a Thursday. Christian and Trevor were gone. I was feeling a little lazy on a Monday. I was like, I don't want to record alone again. So here we are, a special show on a special Thursday.
I was honestly really sad to wake up on Tuesday and didn't see a solo pod from Scott.
Yeah.
I was expecting to have a lot of laughs on my Tuesday drive.
Yeah.
You should apologize.
I want to apologize to the viewers, to the listeners. We did have one of our friends, Chris. He texted me and he was like, yo, I listened to your solo episode. The first time I did, he goes, oh, that was interesting. All right, a-hole.
You're listening to the doubters. You got to block those out, Scott.
Yeah,
block those out.
I've got to block them out. It would have been solely about Dario Saric.
Right. Dario Saric signing with the Nuggets.
Great signing.
Super Dario is a Nugget.
He's a Nugget.
Big time.
The Nuggets, the championship quest is back on.
Yeah. Could we also just talk? I want you guys to talk about the men's league. Give a little update for our listeners. If you don't know, we joined a men's league. We got blown out game one. The last two games, I have been out of town, but Scott's been there through and through. Scott, how are these gone?
Yeah, Scott, you need to talk about what happened 2 weeks ago.
The Fab Five is what I'm calling us, because in our second game of the year, Christian and Trevor are out with undisclosed injuries, and there was only 5 of us. There's only 5 of us in week 2, and we're coming off a 20-point loss. I guess it was only 14 points. We were down as many as 20 points.
It was demoralizing.
It was a demoralizing loss.
It was terrible.
So it was only 5 of us, and we're the Fab Five because started the game on an 11-0 run, into the half up 20, but most importantly, I went on a 10-0 run by myself in the second half. And essentially what happened, I hit a floater, and a guy on their team goes, that's what we want. That's what we want. I said, all right, you don't know.
He wants you to be the one shooting.
Keep shooting, which on most nights is probably what you want, but not on that night.
No.
Next time I get the ball, 3-pointer, bang. I look at the guy, and I yell, boom! Next time down, hit a floater. Now I'm on a 7-0 run. Then one more time, same spot for 3. Hit it again. I look at him. I just go, bang, bang.
Wow. What did he say? He say anything to you?
Nothing.
Wow. That guy is going to be... He's going to be scared to play you next time we face him.
It's embarrassing if you let me go on a run like that.
That's terrible.
That's really bad.
Scott, can I be honest with you for a
second?
Yeah. Going into this league, I honestly thought you might be a liability.
No.
It turns out you're our X Factor.
I'm an X Factor.
Yeah. I've told Scott this so many times. If I run 5s, I need a Scott on my team. He is the ultimate glue guy. In the playoffs, there were so many guards like a Derek White.
Ooh.
There are so many Derek Whites out there.
Yeah.
There were so many Scotts out there.
Yeah.
Guards that are hustling, getting rebounds, fighting.
I do have to admit, your defensive positioning is almost right like every time. You know what? You are always in help. It's crazy.
Another underrated factor of Scott's game is his ability just to chat it up with the other team.
Yeah, he does.
Game 1, Scott was like talking to the bench and making all the guys laugh on the other team and like dapping guys up. And I walked up to him like at halftime. I'm like, Scott, like, how do you know these guys? He's like, I don't. You just have a way.
It's part of getting in their head a little.
Gosh.
Actually, in this most recent game, when we were up 20, so game 3, we won by like 20 points, and we were told this was the defending champs. It wasn't. Boat race for us. We boat raced the crap out of them. One of the guys called us the Sabonis brothers.
Yeah. No, his direct quote was, "Are you guys the Sabona brothers?"
What does that mean? Sabonis doesn't have any brothers.
That was the best part about it.
I don't think he has any brothers.
He was this 50-year-old man. He didn't even say Sabonis correctly. He just called us the Sabona brothers. It's like,
wow.
All right.
Sick.
Yeah. So it went from me having something to prove to now, Trevor, you have something to prove.
In the group chat, because I've missed the last two games, our team has won. The only game we've lost is the only game I've been to.
Yeah.
So the titles and all the things that the haters are saying to me, the haters being my teammates are.
True facts.
Trevor, you have something to prove. Are you the reason we're losing? So we'll keep you guys updated with that. But that's our little men's league update.
If we do lose the next game,
I know,
and you're there,
I know.
you need to tweet out like
an apology or something.
You, just like how LeBron did it. LeBron says, "Is it me?"
Yeah.
You need to tweet that out.
Yeah. I like that I'm LeBron.
Or you go
the problem.
Or you go the Jaylen Brown route and you blame Nike.
I could blame Nike. I could blame Nike. Great segue.
Yeah.
You're not scared of their resources.
I'm not
You're not
scared.
scared of their
No.
Which really quick, the memes we've gotten from that has been
For
generational.
those who don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Team USA. Let's start with Team USA. They
do
played
it.
Canada last night, and one of the big omissions, Kawhi Leonard, he steps down.
Kawhi.
Oh,
Kawhi not.
Why not? He steps down for whatever reason, and I guess the golden opportunity, I think what some thought would be Jaylen Brown, just won Finals MVP. Instead, it's Derek White. So Jaylen Brown goes to Twitter, he tweets an emoji, and then he starts speculating maybe it's Nike for the reason why he's not on Team USA.
And then to follow that up, he says, he like quote tweets something and he's like, "I'm not scared of your resources." Basically saying Nike, like, screw you guys. Interesting take, but I definitely see why he would say that.
For sure.
Like Derek White, respectable basketball player, very good basketball player. But you would think that you would want more talent on a very talented team. And Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, NBA champion. Like, he should be on the team. He deserves a spot. Honestly, he probably deserves a spot over a couple different players. But
Definitely.
for whatever reason, it's not making the cut.
A lot of people were also confused why Kyrie wasn't on the USA roster.
True.
A guy that has, big time issues with Nike.
And this speculation won't die. Like, it'll be ongoing. The hope for USA is you just blow out everyone, and you're like, see, we didn't need him.
Right. I was kind of hoping when I saw that Kawhi was stepping down, I was really hoping that Cooper Flagg was going to be the replacement.
That would have been sick.
That would have been sick, dude. Like, I mean, there have been college players on the USA team in the Olympics before, but I don't know if there's ever been a freshly graduated high school player that's coming into college as a freshman to play for Team USA. That would have been so cool. And it's not like the dude's not talented enough, because if you are on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, you've seen highlights of this guy playing really well in the scrimmages. There's going to be, I mean, he's not as good of a prospect maybe as a Wemby, but he is surely leagues above anything we had this offseason. This guy's going to be a really fun talent to follow this next year at Duke.
It is crazy because without Wemby, he's probably the biggest prospect that we've seen
Last decade.
in the last decade, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
And I think it just shows you how much talent is in the league, how much talent's coming to the league. We saw them just sign that giant TV deal of billions and billions and billions of dollars. But now they've got to prove it on the national stage. Team USA, they won the scrimmage against Canada. My only takeaway, Joel Embiid fouled out. He's not ready for FIBA basketball.
Dude, that was embarrassing. He fouled out in the third quarter, like with 9 minutes left in the third.
Yeah.
Like I think he played like 12 minutes for the game.
And who outplayed him?
Dwight Powell.
Yeah.
It was funny to see. There's just like unity with you for the NBA fans of hating Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Like the dude is he's foul baiter. He's
a master foul baiter.
He's just the worst, man. There's a clip of him on offense, just like shoulder checking. I don't know who it was. I think it was Trey Lyles or Dwight Powell. And then there's like audio that you can hear of him being like, "I'm just trying to be physical. What, can I not be physical?" But he like elbowed the dude in the face. No one likes Joel Embiid. No one likes him.
Yeah.
It sucks because he's on Team USA when he was basically said that he was going to play for France, and then he just retracted and went to Team USA. And it just feels like it's really slimy of even just to have Team USA accept him on the team, because it's like I mean, the USA team should be like
from the USA.
From the US.
The US doesn't need any more benefits.
We
right?
don't.
All the top talent is really in the US outside. Now you have like a Jokic or Luka, but they're all one guy in a country. Versus the US, it's so much deeper.
It's just so dumb to me that he's even on the USA team. And then the fact that he just played terrible and he's going to be terrible in the Olympics because the way he plays is not FIBA basketball. Even SGA didn't play well last night. And it's because those players, their main attributes to the game is like trying to get fouls and get to the free throw lines. And it's like way more physical in FIBA.
The one final thing I'll say about Embiid, it was very fun to see hometown for him. And it's like somewhere in like Cameroon where he's originally from.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, it is a little weird seeing your hometown not be in the U.S., but like in Africa.
So. Yeah. Seeing LeBron and Curry in Ohio, and it's like Cameroon for Embiid.
Yes.
It's like, what?
Just a hop and a skip away from Akron.
Where is Cameroon?
So otherwise, I don't really care for the exhibition.
It was just a fun game. A lot of memes came out of it. Dylan Brooks is the ultimate villain of all time. Devin Booker was having an interview, and he literally walked right in front of Devin Booker, like in between the reporters and Devin Booker. Like he could have avoided it.
And then I saw the Jamal Murray meme guy was populating again.
Was he again? Gosh, I love that guy.
And now that he has a Jamal Murray jersey, I mean, anytime Jamal has a bad game, like he's screwed. Yeah. Like he's screwed. Because again, like he had 8 points on 2 of 7 shooting or something. And my entire timeline is just the Jamal guy like pretending to play with
zesty.
Yeah. That's funny.
I mean, the game was atrocious. It honestly kind of looked like one of our rec league games. Like a lot of misses. A lot of like just losing the ball. It was tough.
But just like our rec team, they did catch a dub. Free agency, we're kind of on, I don't want to say the back burner, but almost the back burner where a lot of the action has happened. So because the dust has settled, figured I'd ask, has there been a single team that's really stood out to you? Has there been a team that you've been really impressed by? Or maybe it's just an individual signing that you've really liked?
We got to talk about the Sacramento Kings. People are wondering what our thoughts are. I've had people text me, what are your thoughts? So here they are. Christian, you and I are going to talk for a bit. DeMar DeRozan signed to Sacramento in a sign-in trade. You guys are aware of the details. Harrison Barnes out the door. Chris Duarte, a first-round swap in 2031 and a second-round pick, something like that. But you get DeMar DeRozan, which as a Kings fan, this is maybe the biggest signing they've ever had as a franchise. And that sounds crazy to say, but most of the stars we've acquired are either through the draft or through trades. This doesn't happen where stars willingly, on their own free will, sign with Sacramento. So it's really cool to see that happen. It's a sign, a really positive sign of the direction of the franchise of Sacramento. Good things are happening, good vibes. DeMar DeRozan flew out on like the hottest day of the summer. It was like 115 in Sac, and I was there. It felt like I was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And DeMar, that's the day he chose to fly out. But that didn't keep him from signing with us. I'm really excited. I know there are questions with the fit. I don't think our roster is finalized right now. I'm excited to see what happens. But, yeah, more so the biggest thing for me is just excitement.
I love the signing of DeMar DeRozan. I think just the aura he brings to the city of Sac is just so electric. I remember the day after, 2 days after he signed, I woke up and I'm like, whoa, I have DeMar DeRozan on my team. Like, as lame as that like kind of sounds,
because he's 34.
Yeah, he's
gonna be 35 at the start of the year.
35 in August. It's just like we've never had a player of that caliber that wanted to join Sacramento. And honestly, like from a fit perspective, I think he's gonna be just fine. I think the national media didn't watch a lot of Kings basketball. So they go in there and they just automatically assume that because Domantas Sabonis isn't a three-point shooter, and De'Aaron Fox has been bad three-point shooter in the past, that automatically the fit doesn't work because DeMar doesn't shoot threes. But De'Aaron last year shot 39% from three-point line. Like, he's gotten better. He's a good three-point. He's a good
on like 6 attempts a night.
Yeah, and he's a good catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. So it's like I don't see him as a liability from shooting the three. And with DeMar DeRozan, when he catches the ball, you have to guard him because if he can get downhill, 1-2 dribbles, get to the mid-range, it's a bucket. It's a bucket like almost every time.
That's the thing with the fit that makes sense is it's not like a lot of people just see, okay, his 3-point percentage isn't as high as other players. The spacing is going to be terrible. With DeMar, it's different though. Like in the NBA, it's rare to have players who aren't great 3-point shooters, but awesome mid-range shooters. Because he's such a good mid-range shooter, the spacing isn't really that much worse as compared to a guy that's a knockdown 3-point shooter because defenders are having to be on him at the line. Otherwise, you're giving DeMar a runway to run down, and he's going to be able to, hit whatever move he wants to pull. If he has space, he's going to be able to do that.
And another thing that's been annoying me by national media is like, oh, the Kings, one thing that they needed to get better on is defense. So they got DeMar DeRozan. And then they kind of talk like Harrison Barnes was this great defender. It's like Harrison Barnes wasn't guarding anyone.
He was butthole.
He was basically a traffic cone.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's ridiculous to say like that this isn't an upgrade and it won't improve the Sacramento Kings when it's like it's a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean, DeMar averages 20 points. Listen to this. All right. Everyone is so jazzed and hyped up about Paul George, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Paul George last year averaged 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He signed a 4-year, $212 million contract with the Sixers. DeMar DeRozan last year, 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. He signed a 3-year, $74 million. Also, they're the same age.
Yeah.
Like, why is Paul George looked at as this,
savior,
amazing basketball player when DeMar DeRozan goes to the Kings and he's like, oh, this guy sucks?
Because he's got a pod. The Paul George pod.
Facts.
Here, I have 2 more things to say on this.
Yeah.
Number one, DeMar DeRozan's game is kind of like his adaptability as he's gotten older has been really cool. DeMar started out in Toronto and was the ultimate high flyer. He's dunking on dudes. He's doing 360 dunks, He was a high flyer, athletic player, slasher. Now he's kind of adapted into a mid-range, even facilitator. Like his assist numbers have gone up as he's gotten older. So it's cool to see him kind of adapt as his body kind of ages, which I think bodes well for Sacramento. I think you're going to get 2, maybe 3 more years of DeMar DeRozan playing at a high level. Even if he's 35, 36, 37, I think that he's going to be playing good basketball in those years. The other thing I want to say, this signing does not make Sacramento a contender. I think that I don't want people to think that we're overreacting and we think Sacramento is going to be, the number 1, 2 seed and be in the Western Conference Finals. I don't think that that's the case. I think you need to do more if you want to do that. But this is a great step for Sacramento, and it probably takes you anywhere from 5 to the 7 seed.
Yeah. I would argue that it definitely takes you out of the play-in. I really do believe that because there was a lot of games this year that we lost just by missing free throws. And DeMar DeRozan, he gets to the free throw line and he shoots his free throws at a high clip. So I think that alone is going to improve our win total. I mean, we won 46 games last year. It's not like we were
under 500.
Under 500. Like we were 10 games above 500, and every team in the West was 1 to 2 to 3 games in front of us. So it's close. It's really close.
And you have another trusted player for late game situations. Because in reality, the guy who you wanted to score was either Malik Monk or De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
This just adds so much more versatility in late game situations because the last thing you would want is a Harrison Barnes jump shot late in the game. You don't have to worry about that anymore. At this point, it's probably Keegan Murray, who's the number 5 guy in a late game situation, which is a whole lot better than what you've had in the past.
Definitely. I do want to say shout out to the Spurs. They've had a very interesting summer. They signed Chris Paul, and then they got Harrison Barnes. I don't think these players do anything for them in terms of standings in the West, but I like the fact that they brought in some mature veterans to help lift up the younger guys, and also just to essentially train Wemby of once Chris Paul is gone, he's Wemby can now talk to whoever the point guard is and be like, hey, this is what you got to do to get me open, or passing, all that stuff. So
Stephon Castle is going to learn from Chris Paul, who wants to play point guard.
Exactly.
Who better to learn from than Chris Paul? And they also on draft night secured the Timberwolves 2031 unprotected first, which you think, dude, that's like a 5th grader right now. But which that's true. But if Wemby is still a Spur at that time, Wemby's in his prime, who knows where the Timberwolves are at? That could be a high pick. The same year, 2031, in this DeMar DeRozan sign and trade, they secured a first-round pick swap with Sacramento. Who knows where Sacramento's at this point in time? So the Spurs, and you don't see other GMs making those kind of moves for picks in 2031 because their job security. They don't have the job security, so you're not going to give up assets to get something when maybe you won't have a job. Mm-hmm. But in San Antonio, that guy's going nowhere.
Yeah. Right.
So good move for the Spurs. I like what they're doing also.
Yeah, I think that's great. You mentioned Stephon Castle. He had a good game in the Summer League.
He did.
Last night against Team China. And here's what I'm going to say. I have been on the record and on the show of not necessarily not caring for Summer League, but not thinking it's very important unless you're like a guy fighting for a 2-way spot. That's where I think I find significance. And guys starting to get familiar with maybe some of their teammates, with the system. That being said, it's still a lot of fun to see these younger players stepping on the court for the first time wearing their team's jersey. And guys, you're going to the Summer League on Saturday. Friday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're driving up tomorrow. We're seeing the games. Opening day.
Okay, so what are we looking forward to? What do we want to see?
I'm honestly kind of really excited to just see Zach Edey play.
Yeah.
As lame as that sounds. I know he's played a couple of games in, I think, Utah, but he's just been a double-double machine, getting blocks. And he's just one of those players that I'm just really intrigued for this upcoming season of is his game going to translate? He was awesome in college. He was dominant. And I'm just curious if he'll be able to kind of recreate at least some of it in the NBA. Can he be a double-double guy, get a couple blocks a game? Just kind of interesting to see him in person and just see how big he is.
I am excited. Scott, why are you laughing?
No, I just put some emphasis on the big. So I didn't know.
Well, let me talk about what I'm excited about. I'm excited just to see these guys that we did that mock draft a couple weeks ago, and we've been, at least for me, I've studied these guys because we're in a dynasty basketball league as well, fantasy league. I've been studying these guys for the past 2 months. I've put in hours of just listening to podcasts and videos, way too much for this week NBA draft. Yeah. But I'm excited to go to Summer League and watch these guys in person. Because there are fun players and some prospects who you don't know, they could become something awesome. And there are 2 games that I have circled. We'll be there tomorrow. And the first one being Rockets versus the Lakers. We're going to get to see Reed Shepherd, 3rd pick in the draft, as well as Dalton Connect. And does LeBron James' son play for the Lakers now? I don't know if you guys have you guys heard?
No.
I think maybe they picked
I think they let him run around.
Wait, remind me his name.
I think his name's Bronny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen that on Instagram or on ESPN. What are you going to say?
Have you seen that meme? It's LeBron's son. He's he wanted to wear number 4 so people to know he's LeBron's son. And it's hey, yo, who's this Bronny guy? That's so dumb.
So I'm excited to see that game. And then also we got Atlanta versus Washington. So a little Risache versus Sarr action at 6:30 tomorrow. So I'm excited to see some of these prospects that we've studied.
Poor Risache.
Dude, he could come out and just dominate.
At this point, I hope he does because all the advertising, everything, no mention of him.
No.
It's been Bronny. It's been a lot of these other players. And so I don't know if there's ever been a real underrated number one pick of like kind of an underdog, I should say, an underdog number one pick. He's an underdog.
He is. I think
he is a true underdog.
I think the most recent guy that I can compare to as far as hype level for the number one pick, I think is Anthony Bennett. I think that those two received no hype even after being the first picks in the draft. I'd say that's the most comparable.
Dude, I literally haven't heard Rishashe's name since the draft.
Yeah.
No
one's talking about him.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's
they're all talking about freaking Bronny.
It's ridiculous, and he's just putting up horrendous stat lines.
He's going stinko mode.
Like Scott is putting up better numbers in our rec league.
It's factual.
He is.
Yeah, I've been going kind of nuts.
Actually, have.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I like that. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. I think one thing that I'm looking forward to, because like we've never been to the summer league before, but just like all the people that are gonna be there, from like basketball influencers to media members we listen to. There's going to be GMs. There's going to be players. And just curious to see like if we get to run into any of these people, meet any of these people.
Scott, you should send me your highlight reel, and I could just like, talk to different GMs and see if I can land you a 10-day. I'll be your agent.
10-day anywhere. If you see Calvin Booth, show him.
I'll find him.
Because they've got some open spots left on the roster.
They need a guard that can rebound.
They need a guard who can rebound and facilitate. I can do that for you, Calvin Booth.
All right, sounds good.
Okay,
I'll find him.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Summer League, you guys are gonna have fun. Yeah, that's about it. I don't have much more on Summer League. It's just gonna be exciting for you guys.
It's gonna be fun. We'll let you guys know how it is.
Yeah. Before we sign off, though, our old intern Matt left us a video. We have no idea what it is. We have no idea what he says, and so this is our live reaction to whatever this segment is with Matt.
Hey guys, Matt here. I just wanted to bring some news to you guys this afternoon. Sorry, it's so close. That's like as if your mom was sending you a video. Yeah, I just tired of all people sleeping on OKC. Hey, wake up. Wake the heck up. OKC, I'm just saying, we're trying to be thunderous out here, okay? We're making moves, we're making trades. People just aren't respecting those trades, but I think they need to wake up. They need to hear the thunder rolling. The thunder is rolling, guys, and it's coming for you. So I don't care what the Kings are doing. I don't care that they got Bronny. Bronny ain't gonna do anything, okay? We can already see that in his G League appearance. So I think what we gotta look out for, and we cannot ignore, is that's the thunder, baby. You gotta pay attention to the thunder, because it comes with thunder, lightning, and it's gonna strike. It's gonna strike.
I feel like Matt was just sitting in his car and was like, I haven't been on the pod in a while. I'm just gonna make stuff up and talk.
He wanted some relevancy.
He wanted to just get in on the episode.
Thunder is coming.
Thunder's coming.
And when thunder comes, lightning strikes.
That's right. I will say this about the Thunder. They signed Isaiah Hartenstein to how much did they end up paying the guy per year? A lot. 20. It's 20 mil plus.
Yeah.
Maybe just under 30. That kind of signing, I can almost guarantee they're going to flip that in a deal a year or two from now for a star player and pair it with a bunch of picks. Yeah. It's a smart signing. I'm learning that, like, even for the Spurs, them going to trade for Harrison Barnes, people may react and be like, "You're what? 30-year-old guy that you're going to pay 20 mil is not even that good." Those are tradable contracts because they have a ton of picks, both those teams. It's actually smart. And for, I think, a while, normally I would react and be like, what the heck? But those are tradable contracts that you can eventually pair with picks, and then you can bring in a Lowry Markkanen to put with your core. So anyways, just wanted to say that quickly. Yeah. Andy's got something to say.
Okay, light's falling. Real quick thing on the Cavs. Shout out to all the losers who thought Donovan was going to go to New York. He did not, and he's with the team forever, and he will die in Cleveland. Thank you.
Trevor, is that a tradable contract, Donovan? Can we trade him?
Yeah, let's trade him.
Can you imagine if Donovan Mitchell gets traded to the Spurs for Harrison Barnes and draft picks?
You'd be so excited, Andy.
Congrats. Yeah, no, OKC's going to be the best team in the West. I think they're going to win 65 games in the regular season. That doesn't me saying they're going to win the West, but that is me saying they're going to finish first in the West. They're just deep. They have a lot of talent.
Politician Scott, who normally rides on the line, in the middle always, he says the Thunder, he guarantees that they're going to win 65 wins.
65.
I guarantee.
We just heard Scott put
Guarantee.
Scott.
Politician error, 65 wins for the Thunder.
All right, clip it.
Clip it.
Wow.
Bang.
I personally think they're gonna drop a little bit this year.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think they surprised a lot of teams last year, and I think a lot of teams now know more what to expect.
I say 65 wins unless there's an injury. That's fair, right?
No, you already guaranteed 65.
No,
Okay.
you guaranteed 65 with it.
They're deep enough. They're deep enough.
Yeah, they've got Isaiah Joe.
Oh, ISO Joe.
They got Isaiah Joe. Hey,
I love ISO Joe.
But yeah, so Thunder good. Cavs will be irrelevant, sadly, for producer Andy. The East got a little bit better.
What? Did they?
Yeah. Orlando got Mr. KCP.
Oh, wait, you're right.
Yeah. Paul George obviously is on the Sixers.
I'll say one thing. Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
As I'm thinking about Eastern Conference players that left the East to go to the West, the Pelicans, man. Getting DeJounte Murray, that may be the best acquisition of the summer.
You think so?
I think so.
Better than DeMar.
Definitely.
Interesting.
DeJounte Murray, that team has needed a true point guard, and they've already
That I agree with.
They've already been a good team, but adding DeJounte, I think, takes them to another level. They did lose Valanciunas, but
Who's their center right now?
Daniel Tice.
I don't think they really have a center.
They signed Daniel Tice like 2 days ago.
Can they trade Brandon Ingram for a true center?
I think Brandon's staying this year.
Oh, I think they're toast.
No,
Playing.
dude.
Politician Ayers is dead.
Valanciunas only played like 10 to 15 minutes some night because they're running center Zion.
Yeah. But they also had Larry Nance Jr. that they were playing a lot.
Yeah.
And they like Larry, but they traded Larry.
They're the play-in Pelicans.
No, dude. Pelicans. In Pelicans, I trust.
All right. I like. Oh. This is a political
Are you
show.
guaranteeing?
I guarantee a top 3 seed for the New Orleans Pelicans.
No way.
I guarantee it.
That's nuts.
I guarantee it.
Wow.
All right, Christian. Just kidding. You don't have to throw one out there. We don't want to force it.
No force
it.
guarantees.
No
No force guarantees.
No.
Wow.
Consent guarantees only.
Consent only.
Facts.
This pod
This is a
huge
highly consensual. Wait, no.
podcast.
Yeah, podcast. Yeah, we only consent.
We are pro consent.
We are pro consent.
All right.
Well, with that, we are consenting to sign off. For producer Andy, Trevor Micklen, and Christian Ennis, I'm Scutters. We say so long for now. We will see you next week.
I'm not afraid of you or your resources.
Like and subscribe.